This is Stacy Hopkins, and I'm the Atlanta Group Coordinator for the Coffee Party. And we're here today at Senator Chambliss's office in Atlanta to discuss some of the ideas and issues that are of concern on the group's agenda.
Does this go under campaign finance reform?
No, corporations are not people, you know.
K through 12 quality of education in Georgia has been declining.
And I think our most important issue is the crime.
The Democrats and the crosshairs kind of thing, you know, don't retreat, reload. I find that very alarming.
Number one for us was we want to hold our politicians accountable. That's the major issue that we want from the Coffee Party is enough is enough.
So you can agree or disagree with how they vote, but they should be voting their constituents.
Fixing the money, closing the revolving door between lobbyists and legislators and congressmen, and here at the state level, getting independent redistricting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also focused on the lack of representation, how we don't feel like our voice is the one that's being heard.
And as much as we're non-ideological, that we're willing to support anyone who is willing to make government function.
The reason the government isn't responding to the people is because the rules are favoring the hijackers. The people who have basically hijacked the government, just like hijacking an airplane. We're the passengers on there being taken somewhere we don't want to go. And you don't cuss, you don't sit there and cuss the airplane. What you do is make your way to the flight deck, beat down the door, and get your hands on the controls. But it doesn't do you any good if you don't know how the plane works. So you have to know how the government works and what the specific mechanisms are that have to be changed. And so that's going to take a little bit of education among all of us, helping, you know, educate each other about that. But really what we got to do is focus on changing the rules.
We want to be gracious. We want to keep into what our goals and principles are, and that is to be civil. And we're going to be cordial, but we're going to ask questions that are provocative, thought-provoking, and hopefully it'll be a productive meeting and the start of a good relationship between us and Senator Chambliss.
One of our goals ought to be to begin building trust with representatives like Saxby, and for them to learn about us, what we're like, what our mission is, what we're trying to accomplish, and then lastly, our strategy is to make sure we listen to Saxby.
We are not Tea Partiers. We are not Democrats. We are not Republicans. When we come to you as the Coffee Party, we want you to know there's a whole bunch of us in this country who don't fall into those simple categories, and we're kind of tired of being forgotten. We're here, and there's a lot of us.
Yeah, do you think the corporate influence and how it's grown over the last 20 years is a threat to our democracy?
I'd like to know how familiar you are with the Coffee Party. What have you or Mr. Chambliss seen of us? Do you understand what we stand for? What is your interpretation of the Coffee Party?
I'm wondering why Atlanta's not mentioned as one of these hubs for high-speed transit in any of the plans that are currently on the table.
What is your vision for a unified energy policy in this country?
I want to find out where Chambliss is on the financial reform bill, the Dodd bill that was just introduced a couple weeks ago.
Good to see you all and welcome. So I'm Charlie Harman.
Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to record or video the actual meeting itself. So let me just summarize a few key points. We came in with a definite spirit of wanting to start our journey of civility and repairing the government. And we all had a level of anticipation and enthusiasm and seeing the potential of what could come out of the meeting. It was pretty much a party line taken by them, and it was not surprising, but we can establish a baseline to determine which direction we'd like to go as far as directing solutions and actions that the group comes up with. I think the most interesting issues were perhaps the Citizen United decision. They haven't particularly taken a course of action or made a decision on that. As far as Wall Street reform, he called Georgia specifically the Chernobyl of banking, which was very interesting to hear because we are pretty high up there on the list of bank failures. As far as the Dodd bill, he mentioned that he was working with Senator Blanche Lincoln. She's the chair of the Agriculture Committee, and that is for the derivatives. He asked us to get involved and make our voices known specifically to Senator Lincoln and his office, because he did feel that that was something where we might be able to reach some sort of area of consensus on. Considering what we had been seeing at that time in the national media and what was being portrayed by certain other organizations, I think we were a refreshing choice of beverage, and one that he found a lot easier to deal with. So he really did enjoy the civility. I think he was about ready for a good dose of it.
Wow.